You tuned in to the 7-Day Theory. Hard body, hard spirit.
Ballin'! What up, my people? Hard body, hard spirit. Check this. Today I want to take a little bit of time and talk about the Dipset era in hip-hop. This birthed so many people jocking their style as far as musically and fashion-wise. They literally gave birth to generations of sons, especially Jim Jones. Cameron included, Jewels included, but especially Jim Jones. Pretty much everybody today still dresses like Jim Jones was in 2004, 2005, 2006. Now the Dipset era, the prime time for the Dipset era was 2002 to 2006. And they put out some heat. They was on top of the world. And literally when you had Dipset and you had G-Unit out at the same time, both of them flaming hot, pause. Both of them, they were like rock stars. They were like Stone Cold. They was like they were the biggest things in America musically at that time. When Hey Ma came out. And this era, there was no YouTube, there was no Google. After school, they had this thing called 106 in Park, and every day after school, about 3, 4 o'clock or 6 o'clock, something, 106 in Park would come on, and I couldn't wait. I could not wait to watch and listen to the Hey Ma video. That was my shit. That was my shit. That was everybody's shit for real. It was speaking about the ladies. You know, Hey Ma, hollering at these chicks. And it really introduced me to Jewels. I think that was the first time I heard Jewels Santana, I want to say. And the sick part about Dipset is they all could rap, but they all had different styles. Cameron had his style. Jewels had his style. And I think Jewels got a lot of his style from Cameron. He just upgraded his shit. Like, he just went crazy with the metaphors, similes, double entendres, all that, right? And the flow style. And then Jim Jones, he had a more simpler style, but his style is what made his rapping unique and popular, right? As far as I'm concerned. Jim Jones is one of my favorite rappers of all time. Not only for just the song, like, I rock with the songs he put out, especially in his prime. The On My Way to Church album, I believe that's to me that's a classic album. Then he followed it up with Summer in Miami, or Summer with Miami, Summer in Miami. Then he followed up with Hustler's Poem, P-O-M-E, Product of My Environment. Those 3 albums, dope as hell. But my favorite album of this era, right? Besides On My Way to Church, the Diplomatic Immunity Volume 1 and then Diplomatic Immunity Volume 2, that straight heat, straight gas. Diplomatic Immunity Volume 1 had that also had Hey Ma on it. It had a whole bunch of, I believe it had I'm Ready, Jewels. And then it also had, it had a lot of Jewels singles. And I believe they put out a video for one of the Jewels singles on that record. That track list, fire. There's only a few misses on there for real. But also what it gave birth to, which a lot of people look at this era and off rip, they always name the pink colors that Cameron wore. He had the pink fur, pink hat, pink all that. I was like 15 to like 8 to like 20 in their prime. So this was the prime time. I was like, hip hop was everything to me in this time. I was in 10th, 11th grade, 12th, and then 2004 graduated. Then I'm 17, 18, 19, 2005, 2006, right? So this influenced me totally. I remember before Cameron rocked that pink, as a young man, I never even thought to wear pink. Didn't even think of it, right? It was just like, nah, pink is for girls. I never wear that shit. And even after he made it popular, I still never wore pink until I got older in life. But in this era, I just didn't rock with it, right? Back then, I didn't rock with it. My cousin, though, he went full he was full Dipset mode. He had the belt buckles. I also had some belt buckles too. The flashy belt buckles that was popularized by Jim Jones, Jewels. He had a whole pink outfit he would wear like once a week. Same pink outfit. Because of Cameron, because of his influence and what he did, how he popularized it. And it's crazy and I really what inspired me to make this video is because Jim Jones recently did an interview a few weeks back, like 2 weeks or something, where they were talking about his influence on hip hop and on other rappers and on fashion. And he really wasn't telling no lies. He said people give him flack because he's older and he's still dressing like how young people dress. But what people don't understand is he ain't gonna stop dressing like that because he's the one who made the whole style up. It was for hip hop. It was totally original. He said it in the interview. Rock stars was doing it. Rock and roll guys was doing it. But in hip hop, nobody was dressing like Jim Jones when he started putting on the fitted t-shirts that fit regular or tight. The tight jeans, the fitted jeans. Nobody was dressing like that in hip hop. At least it definitely wasn't popularized. Lil Wayne ended up doing it too, but that was later. That was after Jim Jones and Dipset was already doing it. Like Lil Wayne got his style from Jim Jones. Put it like that. So everybody in hip hop, it was still back then. Everybody was wearing tall tees and baggy ass jeans. That's what people was rocking. Tall tees and baggy ass jeans. Wasn't no real flashy belt buckles. And then when they came with the belt buckles, that I remember they had a middle of the mall store where all they did was sell the belt buckles. And the belt buckles, where this was popular back then too, was the belt buckle was a digital screen, and you can input whatever words you want to put on it. So it'll scroll across the screen, just like an advertisement on a sign for a digital sign for a store or something. But it was on the belt buckle. They had a whole store in the middle of the mall just for that. And I definitely got one. My cousin definitely got one. That shit, it was different. It was different. You look back on it now, it's like, man, would you wear it now? No. But back then, it was lit. It was lit back then. If you had the belt buckle with the screen, you could write whatever you want, put your name on it. Cameron dropped Come Home With Me, had Welcome to New York City featuring Jay-Z, and later on he ended up had that famous beef with Jay-Z, and Jim Jones jumped in the beef, made diss records, right? But Cameron's Come Home With Me, that's a great album. Great album. Hey Ma's on there too. Losing Weight. It's a bunch of dope records on there. But after that album, he came with Purple Haze, and that album influenced me so much, right? And this is back then when I was 17, 18, 19, I was rapping. I wanted to be a rapper, and I was rapping. Was in a group and was kind of solo, but mostly in a group. That album named Purple Haze inspired my rap name. My rap name was Haze. That was my rap name, Haze. 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 Love the name, always loved the word, and it just fit, right? But it came from Cameron's creativity and what he named his album and how he had the whole purple aesthetic on the album cover and all that. This is when rappers still had their mystique about them, because back then there wasn't the YouTube and shit. That wasn't a thing. There wasn't 100 videos of rappers talking about their life and what they do and all that, right? Now I feel like there's some rappers like Cardi, like Playboy Cardi, who don't do a lot of interviews, right? They still carry their mystique, and really that's the only way to do that, is to not do a whole bunch of interviews. Even though Tupac, he was alive and in his prime during the era where there wasn't a lot of interviews, but Tupac did a lot of interviews. He was one of the artists that was able to do a lot of interviews and talk a lot about issues and about his life and about just issues in general, and still held that mystique about him. Still still didn't seem regular, right? There was something special about Pac, even though he did a whole bunch of interviews. Like for that time, in that era, before YouTube, before really the internet and all that, kind of in the middle of the internet, or when the internet was just beginning, he did a lot of interviews for an artist. A lot of artists in that time don't got a whole bunch of interviews. Pac got a lot of interviews. So yeah, this was before that, where rappers like Jim Jones. Now we know now he's blood, but back then I didn't know what he was. Like he came out with that that Purple City Bird Gang, that Purple City Bird Gang. That song, he came out with a video. Everybody in that video was wearing purple rags. I thought there was a gang in New York that was just purple. That rock purple bandanas and purple colors because of that song. Now I know that Jim Jones is a blood, right? Same set that Tekashi 6ix9ine was and snitched on. The what is it? Nine Trey Bloods, I believe. Yeah. So I thought from that video of him talking about this Purple City Bird Gang, I thought that was a real gang in New York, right? I'm from Ohio. I don't know. I've never been in a gang, none of that. So, and I'm young, so I'm getting my information from the videos and the music as far as the culture in New York and the gangs and all that. So now I know that there ain't. I ain't never seen a purple gang in New York. But back then I thought that was real. The Diplomatic Immunity Volume 2, straight gas. This is like when I first started driving. Man, I played that CD so much in my car. It's probably scratched. I can't find it. It's lost. It probably got 1,000 scratches from me touching it, putting it in and out the CD player and all that, right? But Jim Jones, and I feel like a lot of people, and Jim Jones is still rapping, right? He's still one of the, like Cameron, he's not rapping no more. Jewels, he don't really rap no more. Jim Jones is still doing it. 20, 25, 30 years later, 20 years later, he's still dropping records, still making a dope ass music. And Jim Jones' whole story where his son is an adult now, but he said his sons would come over, his friends would come over and wearing the same type of jeans that Jim Jones popularized, and they didn't even know. Like Jim Jones' son would have friends over wearing the same type of shit that Jim Jones popularized, and they didn't even know that their friend's dad was the one that made that shit popping, that made that shit lit, that really created that wave. And he said, he'd come in the room, and he's like, you know that was me. You know I did that, right? You know that's and they were like, what? Your dad did that? Yeah, my dad, yeah, he started that, right? He started a whole wave that people are still doing today as far as fashion and how people dress. And it really ain't changed. It's crazy to me how the fitted look has not changed in like 20 years for real. People are still rocking with that. I would thought it would have came back around. Now people are starting to wear baggy shit now, and more like a 90s look. 90s looks is coming back, right? But as far as in the mainstream, people are still rocking that look, and especially in hip hop and rap. The Oh Boy song, that video, that shit, straight fire. The sample on that record, fire. The ballin', when that ballin' dropped, everybody in their mama was ballin'. Everybody in their mama was doing that. That song was everywhere. You couldn't go anywhere without hearing that record, and the video was dope. Jewels was so hot that they put did they put that out? Lil Wayne and Jewels did I believe they did a that's how hot Jewels was. Jewels did a double album, not a double album, but they collaborated for an album, Lil Wayne and Jewels. That shit was fire. I don't know if it was a mixtape or an actual album. I want to say it was a mixtape, but that's how fire they was. And now we know it's crazy to see how they all get in the beefs, like Cameron, Jim Jones, they get in the beefs with each other and shit, because they was click tight. They really inspired generations musically and in fashion. So it's crazy to see them beefing and shit, because they came up, like, you've seen Jim Jones looking all dirty and just, you've seen his glow up, right? You've seen where he started from. Jim Jones was like, he was like the security. He was, for Cameron, he was like the security. He said he would set up and know how to fix up studios. He would do that. He knew how to shoot videos. So he was a cameraman too. Like, he was a jack of all trades. And then he ended up falling in trying to rap out. And at first he wasn't that great. Cameron told him, when you can get your raps to match your lifestyle, because Cameron knew that Jim was a dope person and he had a wild, dope lifestyle. He said, if you can get your raps and your style to match your lifestyle, you would be out of here. That's exactly what he did. Shout out to Dipset. Let me know what y'all think in the comments of Dipset Era of Hip-hop 2002 to 2006. Like, share, subscribe. Membership's $1.99 a month. If you do sign up for the membership, I will shout your name out in every video. Shout out to John Paul. Keep your head up and your eyes open. I'm out.
You're now listening to the 7 Day